Hi guys! Today I'm going to be drawing a different Friends original characters. You might recall a few months back I redrew a Friends character. This time I will be redrawing a different Friends character. I know, it's a marvel how I have more than two friends. She gave me a few characters to choose from and it was a really difficult decision, but ultimately I think I will be drawing this one, which I put on screen. Aside from stylizing it, I'm going to reorient it in a different pose, so time for concept sketching. The drawing had a really aesthetic, casual, yet stylish feel to it, so I wanted to reflect that in the pose. I was pretty set on the pose where she put most of her weight on her lower half and was sort of leaning back. I also sketched out a few drafts of the face and clothing. I've done a basic sketch of a few things, bad at drawing shoes as always, and I actually really like the pose on this one, so I'm going to go and start on the sketch. I've seen some people draw sort of flowy poses with a line as a base, so I wanted to give that a try. I think doing that would help give the pose the correct orientation. For once, I actually wasn't having too much trouble with the pose. I think I was so set on the pose from the get-go that it actually turned out really nicely because I had a plan. In the drawing, the clothes were really loose and I didn't really want the clothes to cover up the pose, so I had to keep in mind how to work around that. I of course was using a reference because there was no way I could draw this from memory. I continued the sketch while having a lovely lunch of some marinara sauce and some elbow noodles. Truly, the most finest and gourmetest of foods. I wanted the main focal point to be her face, but I didn't want the Hello Kitty to take away from that. I figured later on I could find some way to fix that with color. When drawing the face, I remember she told me one of her main inspirations was Tim Burton. I think that's really cool because you can take certain aspects of a drawing you like and adapt it into your own style. I'm just about done with the sketch. Later on, I might add a few things here and there, but other than that, I think this is good for now. So I'm going to line and see where that takes me. Also, hopefully I can figure out this head situation. And thus, I began to line the piece with black fine liners. When referring to the head situation, I was talking about the top of the head and the bangs. The original drawing had sort of wispy style bangs and I didn't really know how to emulate that. While drawing it, I thought the top of her head looked like an egg. Sometimes I critique my artwork for really ridiculous reasons and I shouldn't do that, but I felt like the face was kind of an obvious one. But looking back at it, it's not too bad. I was kind of really messy with the liner, so I don't know how it'll turn out. So now I'm gonna erase. Erasing a drawing can make me see gaps in the line art, so I still needed to do a touch-up here and there. Other than that, erasing was fun because you're closer to seeing what the final piece will look like. A weird thing I do is sometimes as I erase, I try to shape my erasers. That's why sometimes I rotate the carrot eraser. Now, time for the part I was most excited, coloring! I wonder why I do thumbs up so much. Maybe it's because I just want to be expressive with my hands, or maybe it's because I really want to show people that I have both of my thumbs. Also, the way I attempted to do wrinkles on the shirt made it look like Hello Kitty has a unibrow. Instead of pulling from the set, I chose some colors that I just pull from while working on my drawing. I know it's a lot, but I don't know which direction I want to go. All I know is that it's a bit of a warmer color palette and I want to kind of emphasize some of the details. Okay, now time to color. As always, I start with a light base for the skin tone so blending out the highlights will be easier. I really try to emphasize the light parts on the face and on the legs. I always start with the skin first because 1, it's my favorite to color, and 2, I'm certain of the skin color, but I'm unsure about some of the other colors, so I figured I could go from there. Out of all my colors, I couldn't really find one that worked well with the hair color, so I figured I'd layer different colors until I got a good result. I really like how some things that would commonly be white, like the socks, were a bit of a muted white, giving it a nice color palette. At this point, I wasn't very happy with the colors, so I hoped a few touch-ups from a gel pen here and there could fix it, even though it wasn't near the end of the drawing. I feel like there isn't much variation in color and contrast in this, and it didn't do the original drawing justice. I'm going to add in the background, and hopefully it's one of those things I can see the problem with once I do that. For the background, I used the blush color, hoping to try and make it look nice. I figured if it didn't, I'd probably color over it with red or some other color. But before I go any further, should I maybe change the background to this sort of reddish color? I didn't know which one to do because this one was the color of the blush, but this one is the color of the red. I'll see. Maybe I should try the red. I was really tired at this point, and I was kind of on autopilot trying to fix this in any way I could. While I did like the red background better, I still wasn't 100% satisfied. I don't think there's enough contrast in the drawing, so I'm going to try and go in with a few places with this smoky blue color and hope for the best. My older sister, who is very good at art, suggested that I should probably use the contrast color and add a few touches here and there when I told her I was unhappy with the contrast. This, I feel like, really brought it together and made the character look like she was in a different lighting. I especially like the way the blue shaded the skirt. I feel like with all my drawings, I like the sketch, then I begin hating it, and then in the end, it all comes together, and I really love it. Alright, I admit it's growing on me. This part kind of makes it look like it has a blue sort of lighting. The last few touch-ups here and there meant that the drawing was near done. And of course, I neatened up and defined the border with a gel pen. And of course, I signed my name and put the date on the artwork. And with that, the drawing is finished.
Oh, 1 mile in fog patches and showers early Friday, but improving to greater than 6 miles on Friday morning.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper.
Now I have to put all of these Copics back into their exact slots.